I mean, like I had this vision, if we're gonna buy this Lamborghini, we're gonna make it the most viral one ever. There was no Nike request at all. So it was like, and then we're gonna figure out how to make it like become reality. Before I turn 30, I'm gonna own a Porsche.
So how old were you when you bought it?
I was asking, like, if I gonna sign the contract today, can you make sure that I will have 1 hour meeting with your marketing department? And he said,
mach meinen Job doch nicht, weil ich mich aufs Wochenende
Kann man nicht bekommen, dass jeder Ball.
Ich schwör's dir, alle Leute werden das feiern, alle werden uns suchen.
Don't stop, come and get it, come and get it, come and get it. Don't stop, come and get it.
Schönen guten Abend.
Turn up the dial, I do it in style. All I got is flow, so I don't stop till the whistle blows. Don't stop till the whistle blows. Don't stop, come and get it, come and get it, come and get it. Don't stop, come and get it. I make it look easy, nobody can beat me. No stop, I'll go. Don't stop till the whistle blows. Don't stop till the whistle blows.
Yes, welcome everyone to our very first Influencer Hero podcast. We have a very special debut guest today, Robin Maeter, founder and CEO of creative agency CREW10, an investor in Novos Bike. A lot of people know you from your Lamborghini, fast cars, breathtaking videos which go viral on social media, and your awesome lifestyle as an entrepreneur and creator. Welcome to our first podcast, Robin. Did I introduce you correctly or did I miss anything important?
thank you very much. Probably you did the best introduction ever. So don't know what to add at that point. Just saying, arigatou gozaimasu.
Yeah, amazing, because you actually just came from Japan, right?
Yes, I arrived yesterday in Dubai because we're shooting for a transport company in Tokyo. Pretty short, funny story behind that thing, because when I went from Bali, Indonesia, last year to Tokyo, I was sitting next to a chairman who was running the transport company. And however, we missed each other while landing in Tokyo. So he felt like so much unpolite not saying goodbye that 1 year later, we were invited to shoot something for his company.
That's a crazy story. Because just in general, I think, well, the first time where I saw your video actually, and that's one of the dopest videos I think I've ever seen. I will link that in the description for everyone to see it. I bought it immediately just because of your also interest in Japan, right? So I was just curious how that came about. You know, me being half Japanese, I was just curious because you said even it's your second home. How often are you in Japan, and how did that interest? Where did that come from?
Well, behind that, there's a huge story. So I've been to Japan for more than 12, 13 times yet. And I'm traveling like twice a year since 2016. I'm supposed to have a online shop for Japanese old antiques. So I was selling kakejiku, is like a Japanese hanging scroll when I was a kid. I was buying them from eBay and later on Yahoo Japan. And because of that, I grew up with a family which is based in Osaka. And we became like a very, very close friends. And to care for this relationship, I do travel a lot to Japan. That's basically how the whole thing has started. For sure, I'm no more longer in this Japanese business because of being busy with a company, like the production agency. Yeah. But I still have my heart bumping for Japan.
And now you have an amazing client there through a flight from Bali to Tokyo.
Yeah, which is absolutely crazy. So even this relationship now was like very, very emotional, because for us, if you work on a video production, you are very close with the client. So you spend like 2, 3, 4, 5 days with somebody working on a vision. Yeah. And you start early in the morning, you end up having dinner together, and then there's a very close connection that comes up.
Yeah. Yeah, the culture there, the way people work in Japan is, I think, very interesting. But yeah, maybe interesting for the people to know who don't know you yet and who don't know what Crew10 is, because we're talking about marketing already, but some people might not know it yet. Could you just share maybe just a brief introduction on what Crew10 is, what makes it special, and just for the audience to know?
Yeah. To break everything down like in a short sentence is like we're gonna make content awesome. That's basically it. It's said in Germany, wir machen geile Videos.
Yeah.
That's basically we're gonna make crazy content or sick videos, sick movies.
Good tagline.
That's basically the claim.
Yeah.
It's very, very much, how to say, upfront. So we are a strong marketing brand representing the lifestyle we have. So that's also something why we are so much with like fast cars, luxury content. This is how we basically grew up in this niche. And let's say our services start somehow from social media strategies up to marketing campaigns and ends up for TV productions. So basically we have all these equipment stuff in-house so that we can produce literally everything.
Yeah, I think the videos are certainly what the high quality video production is, I think, what your agency's best known for. Is that?
That's correct. But basically back in 2022, lots of people were thinking that we're an influencer marketing agency, which was like kind of right. But let's say the base was whenever we were starting the company, always video production. So we are pretty much into everything, which doesn't mean we're all-rounders and don't have our expertise in one specific thing. But I would say like we know what to do to get like the reach everybody wants. So it starts with the strategy and it ends up in video creation, and we help people growing their brand in the right positioning through social media. That's basically it. And me and my co-founder Dima, we met like 2012 on eBay. So we were swapping an iPad for a MacBook. That's the way we met. And I didn't expect to get my best friend basically on eBay.
So you were swapping, you were changing your iPad with his
MacBook.
With his MacBook.
So I saw somebody was selling his MacBook on eBay, and I was just requesting how about swapping it for an iPad, because I want to have this MacBook, because I knew somebody who wants this MacBook because I couldn't sell the iPad. And Dima thought that he could get the iPad because he knew somebody that is wanting the iPad. So we were swapping it. I paid $50 on top, and then literally we got the deal. And like somehow 3 months after, we met in the same gym. We did tricking. Tricking is like parkour free running, but kind of much on ground. So we were like, "Huh? Isn't that the guy that was selling me basically a few weeks ago the MacBook?" That's how we met again. And then we were like so close because we couldn't believe we were doing the same sports that time. And from that point on, we grew up with Instagram, and then slowly it started not about just barter deals where we're supposed to do some content for our own socials and got products in exchange. Was lately the request if we can just create the content and get paid for creating the content. And we were like, hey, but basically we would like to be like influencers. Now we feel like not being much honored because we just do the content. But basically that's how everything has started, because they wanted us just to get like this crazy social, nowadays, let's call it UGC content. This is basically the story how we went into getting this agency done.
That's a crazy way to meet a co-founder, eh?
Absolutely. So I'm still checking on eBay if there are more.
Yeah, no, that's an awesome story. And how old were you when you met him?
I was 21.
21.
Wait. No, basically I was 19 probably. 19. That was 2012, which is like almost 13 years ago. Yeah, I was 20. I was 20 years old, and I was studying at the police.
Okay.
I thought I might fit into this academy shit, but however,
turns out
I don't have my stars on the shoulder, which nowadays makes totally sense. But once I got kicked from the police academy because of failing all these exams, I felt like very, very bad, and this was probably the worst case ever happened in my life. But this was very important to understand my vision and what I really would like to be.
So you got into content creation first by doing it yourself with your co-founder. You guys just like made like dope videos, like doing certain things, and then was that the way you got in contact with social media and like content production? And then at some point, like where was the moment where the first time where a client was really from, okay, look, we can get actually paid for doing these kind of things? Like what was the first start of maybe Crew10? Maybe it was a different kind of name back then. I don't know. Like what was the first start of the agency, and how did that how did it all start?
Basically, in general, I started with e-commerce in the age of 12 by selling all these Japanese stuff. That's how I get into it. For sure, I need to do some content with the camera because I had to put the pictures on the web. So that's how I started knowing how to take the picture from which angle to make it look like nice. But then the same time in 2007, YouTube has started in Germany, and I wanted to be like this guy doing like crazy stuff, like tricking, flips from everywhere. Parkour and free running became more and more relevance in Europe. So we were uploading videos, and at first it was about showing off your skill. So the trick was like basically what the whole thing is about. But later on we mentioned, okay, it's not just the trick, it's also how you're going to build the movie. Like if it's like an interesting, do you have nice transitions? Do you have close-ups while you are preparing for the session itself? So you have like some B-rolls. So you were editing actually. So since I'm like a kid, I'm editing. And for me, it was like a very safe thing, like that if nothing will work with e-commerce, I definitely go back founding an agency, because in the age of 15, 16, we had already some clients. We were doing some logo design, some websites, photos, stuff like that. But I thought that I may get the step into e-commerce. But while I was so much into e-commerce, I felt like, okay, this is not really fulfilling my life, because I want to travel. I want to see the world. I want to do some crazy stuff. I want to be like on the stage, spotlights all on me. And I couldn't achieve this while being with e-commerce. Nowadays, I would say it was definitely not the wrong way, but I also have missed some chances because e-commerce has changed a lot the past years. And I was pretty much into it very early at the beginning.
Yeah, there was a crazy time actually for e-commerce. There was the early days of where you could probably boot a website and run some ads and it would probably make money. That has changed quite a lot to nowadays, which we'll talk a little bit later throughout this conversation. But I think that's awesome. Just in general, like those flips, those are good hooks, right? Like if you see someone doing a backflip or something, there's definitely a hook on social media where you get the attention and people stop scrolling. So I guess, it's super interesting, I see how you started. Now, Robin, a lot of people know you from the pink Lamborghini, the famous Nike commercial, and fast cars. Can you just share the story behind that? And would you recommend to other entrepreneurs to buy a Lamborghini? Here in Dubai, a lot of them do. If it's for them a good decision to do that with your money, I'm not so sure. But for you, it seems like it wasn't a very, very good decision to make. Just share the story from your point of view. Like how did that came about, and what's the story about the car?
As you may know, as Steve Jobs said, like you only can connect the dots afterwards. It was the same for us. I mean, like I had this vision, if we're gonna buy this Lamborghini, we're gonna make it the most viral one ever. But there was no Nike request at all. So it was like, I wouldn't say gambling, but it was like the vision we have, we're gonna make it work, and then we're gonna figure out how to make it like become reality. Based on the fact that I had like a Porsche deal in 2021, I bought like a GT4, a Porsche GT4. That was my first. There was
a deal. You mean you bought it for yourself?
I bought it for myself because my dream was before I turned 30, I'm gonna own a Porsche. So I was so much into this GT4. I felt like all these Alcantara leather on the steering wheel. So I was like, I'm gonna have it.
So how old were you when you bought it?
28 or 29.
So you made
definitely before 30. So that was very important for me. But when I was at the dealer, I was asking, I have to tell the story, otherwise it doesn't make sense with the Lamborghini. I was asking, like, if I gonna sign the contract today, can you make sure that I will have 1 hour meeting with your marketing department? And he said, yeah, no problem. I was like, shit, now I bought the GT4, which is crazy because that was my first, let's call it investment, which has basically nothing to do like with a one-on-one business. So I was like, maybe I'm failing now and I'm spending too much money on like stupid stuff. But because of having this 1 hour meeting with the marketing department,
That's very smart though.
I had like a retainer, which was almost the same amount of money I had to pay for the GT4.
So you got the deal.
I
with
got
Porsche.
the deal with Porsche. Yeah, it's like for 3
that's
dealer centers in Germany. And basically that was the same amount I paid for the GT4 I got back in other transactions. I was like, wow, shit, that I made it work.
Wow, that's
I didn't
crazy.
expect this.
Yeah.
And basically everything Dima and I started, even if I look back to the story with the iPad and the MacBook, was based on like swapping something, like what I can do for you, what can you do for me? I thought like, imagine, I told Dima one night being in the office, imagine the same thing what happened with the GT4 would happen with the Lamborghini. Imagine, could that basically work?
Yeah.
And then we figured out, okay, how much is the Lamborghini like that? So we thought like, okay, it's like 250 up to 300K. But it's like a random Lamborghini. It's like those you see like 100 times when you be here in Dubai. So we were like, yeah, basically we need something which is way more crazy. So we were thinking, let's go for an STO, which was that day like one of the top-notch Huracan models. Yeah. We're like, okay, then let's get the thing wrapped. We're gonna make it the most viral thing ever. We were signing the contract, and then we had like this heavy, expensive, stupid nonsense car.
Did you ask when you bought the Lamborghini if you can get in a 1 hour meeting with the Lamborghini marketing team?
Basically, I said the same to the dealer. I was like, I just tell you shortly a story about what happened last time. Do you think this could happen again? For sure, we had some jobs with this Lamborghini seller in Hamburg, which is for sure not the value of the Lamborghini itself, because the price was like 359,000 euro, which is crazily a lot. Yeah. It is a lot, absolutely. And I was like kind of nervous if we got back the money we have spent. But somehow we got the request from Nike in collaboration with Sport2000, which is like a huge dealer in Germany.
I think in Europe people know it. In the Netherlands it's also big.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Sport2000 has like huge locations even in Amsterdam, Rotterdam, stuff like that. So they got like this request from Nike, and we were working already together, and there was something for the Euro Cup in 2020. What was that? Last year, in 2024. And there was already an agency working on it. But however, Nike was not really happy with the pitch, and they were asking us if we can top that. And we were like, imagine we're going to wrap now the Lamborghini in pink, and we make it the same style like the shoe will look. Yeah. And however, they all thought like, that's a crazy idea. So we wrapped the whole Lamborghini and the G-Class the same colorway the shoe had that time. And we won the pitch. And this is how I basically got the same, not the same, but this is like one part of the whole thing, got the same money back for the campaign as I paid for the Lamborghini. So all over, even with not knowing what will happen in the future, I may turn the Lamborghini into an investment instead of like nonsense consume, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, because you also don't know all the other things, right? Because I mean, you're using the car for a lot of other things as well, right? So you can calculate out with the Nike deal quite directly, okay, what's the ROI? But then on all your social, right, all the attention you get, and even on Omar, right? So the people who don't know, we actually met, well, actually say we, but it was Robin, our head of sales, happens to have the same name as you. You guys met on Omar, which is one of, certainly the biggest marketing conference in Germany, if not Europe, probably Europe.
It's the biggest. It's the biggest one in Europe.
Yeah, for sure. It's crazy. And you guys had a booth with the Lamborghini there, and it got so much traction, right? Like it's just it's a hook, right? So people looking in e-commerce, I think, you know how important the hook is in social media, because people are scrolling. You need to catch attention in like the first few seconds, right? And a car like that does it. So I think even if you calculate those deals, like probably everything accumulated was ROI positive, right? The car.
Yeah, 100%. So I would do it again. Yeah. I think after a while, like after 2 years, let's say the hype and the boost will slowly pass away. So maybe you have to, now it's about a helicopter, no joke. You have to figure out how to get the next step, or maybe you need a new model, or you need a different tactic,
strategy
or technique to figure out what's next and what is really bringing like the hype on stage. So, but for that, it was definitely the best thing we could do, because still now we use this as reputation for different masterclasses. We're going to tell how we set up the whole campaign, what was the ROI, how much reach did we get, how could we just perform by using organic strategies, because we had no paid media for this campaign. So we reached like in 3 weeks about 40 million views, which is crazy. So that even the Nike headquarters from Berlin wanted to show the whole marketing team the pink wrapped Lamborghini. So we brought it one day just to Berlin, showed off, was like, okay, here it is, that what you guys did, enjoy it. So was definitely worth it.
Yeah, it's crazy because even Robin, so not you, but our head of sales, he told me that he knew the Lamborghini. I'm not sure if he said that he saw it in Germany at some point, but he knew it. And that's how he got into a conversation with you, right? Yeah. So imagine like someone from the Netherlands, he's not even from Germany, he knew about the car. So it went viral for sure. So there must have been a super successful campaign for Nike. And even that everyone knows about it. So that's super interesting. Just one last question on this. When the first Porsche you bought, would you have bought it even though you wouldn't have gotten the 1 hour meeting with the marketing team? Like, was it, okay, I'm going to buy it? Or was it, I'm only going to buy it if I get the 1 hour meeting with the marketing team?
It's a nice question. I think I would have been doing it because I knew if I asked the question that he will make it work. So I was kind of just looking for the last step getting into signing the contract. So it was like, okay, now if I sign the contract, it was not my fault. You understand? So and even through this, I'm still in touch with the seller and we are in a very close connection. So just of this Porsche, I have like a huge network who are all automotive enthusiasts. And I basically can say that this reputation was worth having this car. I wouldn't say that it makes sense to own stuff like that if you're not into it. I would probably never go playing golf because I'm not the guy you will see like in these white tight trousers looking after the hole and the ball and then driving with this vehicle on grass. This is not me.
You need a Lamborghini or a Porsche.
I need something I can identify with. I would definitely say, like, if you think, wow, that's a crazy business idea. A business idea to me just makes sense if I really have a huge identification with what I have envisioned. So that it was my case and that's my story, how I can make it work. But this doesn't mean that this will work for everybody.
So there was the second part of my question. It was a bit of a joke, right? Because I think, look, if you have the money, for sure, you should buy it and enjoy, right? But as a business decision, if you just use it for own consumption, it's probably not the best business decision. But I think the way, and I think you see it, other people doing it as well. Like you have creators which buy a supercar to get the attention, right? And then they turn that car into basically it's a marketing expense, right? So then I think it's a bit different. So it's not consumption, but it's basically, part of your business, right?
The funny thing behind that is like once you have the Lamborghini in your garage, which is basically not my garage because we're gonna have this in a separate area located close to the office. So that's not my home. So whenever I wanted to see it, I basically have to drive like 30 kilometers to check for the Lamborghini, get the keys from the safe. Like it's like lots of things to get organized just to see the Lamborghini, which gives you like the feeling of not really owning it because you just see this for all these marketing things. And once you pull it out, you're like, oh, that's a crazy car. One day I'm gonna own one Lamborghini, which doesn't make sense because it's basically already yours, but the feeling becomes like so different that it's hard to describe how you personally will engage with kind of that. You understand? So
it's really like part of the business, right? The car.
That's the thing.
Like it's more than it being your personal car where it's in front of you and you open the door and you drive it. It's part of the business. So then I think it makes a lot more sense. And I think this is this super awesome story. Maybe for just interesting, because you said social media and organic was kind of a big thing for you guys, how you got started in general. Like the way you acquire clients, right, for your agency, because I think that's a big topic. Like for everyone in the marketing space, running an agency, I think customer acquisition is something which is always challenging, right? And there's so many different ways how to acquire new customers. And these kind of stories are quite unique, right? You go into a Porsche dealer and it's crazy. You tell them 1 hour meeting. Like, are those kind of the ways you acquired most of your customers, those kind of ad hoc, like crazy innovative strategies? Or are there like certain channels? Is it organic, or what's the biggest channel you would say for Crew10 to grow and get new clients?
Yeah. In general, we try like different kind of things. I would say like running an agency is more about vitamin B. So you're in touch with people and you're going to meet them, you're going to network. You basically are on this or that event, and then you're going to meet somebody you haven't had in your network before. And this is how like business turns out into something
relationships,
new. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So the lead process will take a long journey to convert. That's my personal thinking of running an agency. So it's not like it comes in and you close it, because like the competition is nowadays way heavier like than 5 or 10 years back. When I started, I was like one of maybe 100 videographers in general in Germany. So right now there's like tons of these, and the quality is like kind of bullshit. Sometimes it's like a one-man army delivering on a very high quality standard. But this is basically not a guarantee. So everybody is trying to get something from the cake. So what we try is like, we have like this inbound strategy where we're going to set up funnels. And even there, it's important to add that we still have periods where we are very much struggling with converting leads through the funnel, because it's very important that the target group you would like to reach is probably Adidas or Nike you would like to work with, but Adidas and Nike will probably not search for an agency and then basically fill out like a funnel system, and then they say we want to work with you, because they have like this huge network. They have this reputation by changing jobs from C-level to C-level, from head of marketing to head of marketing, and then they just brought their network into the new company. So once you try to attract Adidas or Nike, you probably fail by getting those jobs you really can get through inbound marketing. So you have to figure out, is the target group somebody that will probably spend like 5, 10, 15, 25K, because behind that project, there's somebody that has no idea of who to work with, what to do, and how much it really costs. So this target group is very much about very much into consulting strategies to give them a feeling of, we definitely can help you with that. So if they are overwhelmed with opportunities, they feel like this is probably the wrong expertise of this agency. So you need to be very, very picky in getting them inbound. On the other hand, to answer your question, we also try outbound, which is always a problem because of double opt-in. To have like in Germany, like the Datenschutzgrundverordnung.
GDPR,
yeah. So basically it's like kind of hard to get this figured out, but we work with HubSpot, which is like a great CRM to get like all these things managed, to see how much time do you need to convert this lead, in which pipeline is the client right now, and why it probably didn't happen to convert. So we try like network marketing, which is like more vitamin B. We try inbound marketing through right funnel strategy. And we have like these outbound things where we think, okay, we're going to try reaching these big brands, but at least everything that helps somebody to convince in investing into your service is like, the more creative you are, which probably pays on the Lamborghini campaign, the more easy you get like the contract done. Yeah. So this is how I think everybody can perform, even if it's a one-man army or 100 people, huge agency. The creativity will consider if you get it or not.
Yeah. So that's what I'm super curious about is, right, you have those enterprise deals, which you just mentioned, like Nike, like Adidas, those types of companies. And then I guess you have smaller companies, maybe in the SME space, which you could attract through, certain like digital marketing strategies. But for those enterprise deals, like, is it that you have to prepare like a pitch and send it in, and then you have those people looking through them, and if it's a good idea, they might pick you, or how does that part work? Like, or is it more that they need an agency and they might come to you, like with Nike, and they say, hey, we need this campaign, can you come up with an idea? Because I could imagine, like, if you need to pitch and you need to come up with these ideas, and then the chances of closing that deal is maybe, I don't know, 20% or less, it's a lot of work going in. Like, how does that in an enterprise level work? Or is it?
Yeah. The more expensive the campaign gets, the more competitive it starts being.
Yeah,
if I can say it the way like that.
That makes sense, yeah.
So, like if Nike, Adidas, or let's say any other big brand comes up with, we would like to have you on board for pitching something, you know that this work you're going to put in, even if that means 100, 200 hours work from your employees and your personal time, you probably will never get this paid off, which is to me like kind of hard work, because you put all your creativity, it's pitching in a very competitive way. And sometimes, even in Germany, you don't know if this is just like a thing where they just need like different opinions, but they pretty much know who they will go to. So I would always recommend, if you were in this situation, try to figure out, is this a gold project where you see like, okay, once I do it, I probably will put all my creative work and get the benefit of, look at this is a nice reputation. We did this, I did this just because of having this reference. Or is this a money project where I know this is like so crazy to get that I'm responsible in, if I'm not getting it, it's okay because it was worth trying. But once the price or the money the project is about is too low, I would consider if it makes sense making this work. But you always don't know if this is just the beginning of something big. Yeah. We have, for example, Sport 2000. We started with a very, very, very small budget to get into it. And now it's a huge relationship for us. And we're going to collaborate a lot. And it didn't seem like that this will happen in future. So you don't know. Now we were meeting the first time. You never know when does the real benefit comes back. Yeah. So hard to say when to say no and when to say yes. And I think nobody's really in the position to say, I mean, like, I have so many inbound leads, no worries at all.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Super interesting. So is it often the case with like those enterprise deals that it can be that you get the deal, but then it's so much work from a creative aspect that it's not highly profitable. And at the same time, those enterprise brands know that they have, 20 agencies basically waiting in line to work with them, willing to basically do it on a break-even kind of scenario or low-profit scenario. And then even after the project, it doesn't continue into a relationship? Or would you say, even if it's like break-even, right? For example, let's say you could work with, I don't know, Louis Vuitton or Adidas, and you have that one project which might not be so profitable, then afterwards you work with them, right? So you get to know them and you could get continuous projects from them.
Yeah. I would say so. Like sometimes it's just the honor of being part of the group being asked. So once you get the request, it's no problem to ask how many agencies are in the run. So basically it's like 3 up to 7. And then they see who's like more competitive and more creative.
This tender process, right?
Yeah. So, and then maybe it's round by round. So they start like figuring out if this agency makes sense for this case. So you will not spend like a 200 hours work for nothing. So you probably start with like 20 or 30 hours. Yeah. Then you get into a deeper discussion, and then you feel like, okay, now in the last 3 decisions, and then it's just about like convincing now in the end. But I would see, like, even if you fail in the end, see this like you got honored being in competition with like a huge brand which had like 200, 400, 500 employees. We already had, so we were like the top 3 agencies, and we were competitive with somebody that had 400 or 500 employees, which is crazy. And I'm like, for sure, I'm sad of not winning the pitch, but this also allows me to say I could be proud on different perspective, because we are pitching against huge agencies. And probably it's not just the creative idea that make it not work. It's like maybe the trust in the size of your company. So
there's so many elements.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's not just like your idea was shit.
Yeah.
It was maybe the company is too small, or they see different things. Like maybe the average age of everybody working in the company is too young to get this covered, because it feels like they don't feel like safe,
Yeah.
So once you're still in the position of being a one-man army, you will probably never get these requests, because you are not playing in the league,
major leagues,
or to get this request, because you don't have this, how to say, this brand awareness of being asked.
Yeah,
so,
reputation. Yeah.
This will take some time for sure. Digital will help you to fix it somehow, to make it look like bigger. But once they get really into your proof and they want to see reference, or they want to see how your company set it up, and say like you have 3 employees, they definitely will not make it work.
Yeah.
So it's different kind of things that help you getting the job or not.
Yeah. The due diligence phase with those enterprises is quite extensive.
Yeah.
Even we have it with selling software. That if you go into the enterprise space, you have basically all these request forms you need to fill out, vendor request forms where you need to fill out all the details, and then they ask for all the security certificates because they care about cybersecurity and data protection and those kind of things. So it's a very lengthy process. What we, for example, do, we say, okay, vendor request forms only in our most expensive plans. So because we know it costs a lot of work to go through them, and then you might not end up closing them. So we do it, okay, it's only for the bigger deals, like the smaller subscriptions we sell, they don't get those kind of things. But I do agree, like what we see in those due diligence things is they ask a lot of questions, right, about the employees, like how big is it, like how many years have you been operating, just because they don't want to take the risk of like working with an agency where something goes wrong, right, because it's so important at that level. Right, if you work with an Adidas or Nike, everything has to be perfect. So that makes a lot of sense. One question I was curious about, because you shared a little bit about those, outbound strategies, like you work with enterprise clients, you have many other projects. What is your take on keeping the focus on one thing and doing it really well versus experimenting with different things and also starting new projects as an entrepreneur? Because like one thing, for example, I also have is I want to do so many things, right? I have so many ideas and I want to push them. But at the same time, we notice if we do too many things at the same time, the team gets overwhelmed, you lose focus, which basically impacts the growth of your company. Like, what's your take on focus versus experimenting with new things?
That's a very good question, because I think once you are stepping into being like the leader, into the leader position, and you're no more self-employed and you start, let's say, being this entrepreneur, your time becomes so valuable, and the way you think is very much important to be visionary. But if it's too much future driven, it's hard to get everybody on board, because they all see failing you and seeing the company crash. Once I go back to the Lamborghini thing, we lost some employees because they thought that's the worst thing we have done.
Oh, really?
So they were very much, let's say, disappointed about how we deal with money. They didn't see the profits. They just see the risks. I do see the risks as well, but I'm ready to take them. Yeah. And I'm also ready to take action if it doesn't work. I mean, like, then I can fail. It's okay. Then I do something different. Probably I will not buy a Lamborghini again. So where's the thing? So, and like, I feel the problem is like, I'm now working as an operative in my company, where creativity is in the second row right now, because I have to do so many things that are based on structure, on sales, on how do I work with my employees and how to get things managed, even if it's like very much micro management. Yeah. That I feel like I can split my day into two half, but your brain will not make work thinking the first day like as an organized, structured CEO, and then after lunch you're gonna break into some creative shit. This doesn't work. So I try to set myself some focus time, and I use my weekend to be more into visionary stuff. I try to get out of my comfort zone by stepping out of my daily routine, which is kind of hard because I travel really a lot. But once I travel, I do have like new meetings, new networks, and new impressions to rethink about what I really do in my daily routine. Does that make sense, or how can I slowly change it? Because once you're not the one-man army and you have responsibility for many people, it's not like the jet ski principle where you just can turn and then you go a different direction. You have to be very slowly and figuring out, hey guys, I probably do see the iceberg over there. Let's give it some time. We all stay calm and we slowly take the direction a bit to left. Does everybody agree? Okay, then you can move on. But this is how I try to get this done. And to finally answer your question is, we also do some e-commerce right now because we think that investing our time into companies that are definitely working on a retainer basis, it feels like, okay, what we do is great, but why not putting our expertise and knowledge into our own brand? So this is kind of visionary and experimental stuff you mentioned. And what Dima and I have thought is like, if we put our time too much operative in this new thing, the other thing will not be cared well. So we need somebody that helps us joining this visionary project that helps us running. Then we can put our input as entrepreneur and we can help if there are circumstances, but we can't be in an operative way involved. So that's what we try to manage with new things, that we give the direction, but we can't do it by ourselves anymore.
Yeah. I think that's an amazing answer, actually. I think, as the founder and CEO, right, or also like being a visionary, right, I think that point you made of like living in the future sometimes, right, because you have the idea of how the future looks like, right, and the problem is not everyone sees it that way, right? You have to convince your team to also see it that way, and at the same time, a lot of people have different risk profiles, right? So while you might feel very comfortable in buying a Lamborghini or making certain investment because you think, okay, this is going to work, and I'm willing to take the risk. Some other people feel very uncomfortable about taking those risks, right? So what I also noticed, like when you have a big team, right? You have to talk also to everyone and then take a decision somehow together. I think that's an important one. Have raised funding.
We were bootstrapped since last year, but we sold like 25% to an investor.
With Crew10.
With Crew10, last year.
Okay. So we are bootstrapped from the beginning. So everything has to be ROI positive, and you have to manage your P&L disciplined, right? Especially if you compete against others which are funded. But I think that's a very good point, right? You have to make a balance between, being the visionary and getting the team to convince and buy into your vision, right? But at the same time, keeping in mind that other people have different risk profiles and trying to get everyone together and work on the same goal, I think.
Yeah.
But that's super interesting. Talk a little bit more about your travels, because if you look at your social media, I think it's super inspiring. You are at all these amazing locations. I think it's also in combination with personal branding, right? So people really know you as the founder, and I can imagine it tracks also leads and relationships. Like, walk us a little bit through about the experience you make while traveling the world, and how you use that actually as a marketing channel for yourself and your business.
Yeah. I'm traveling about 20 countries a year. It's like
that's crazy.
It's up to 20 countries a year, which also means like that I travel maybe 4 times the same place, like Maldives. It's up to 50 to 70 flights a year. That's quite exhausting. And I felt like a bit attracted and tempted by using the business class now, which gives me like lots of recovery, because I mentioned that if I fly so much and if I'm in so different time zones by just into like 1 or 2 days, it kills your metabolism, it kills your energy.
Yeah.
You are not really concentrated. You are always in the tomorrow, not in the now. So that's kind of hard, and that's like the bad thing while watching my stuff, because it feels like, oh, he's just at the nice places. He's in this restaurant today, having breakfast tomorrow there. Yes, it is. But sometimes I also like just having this normal daily routine where I just grab my yogurt and put like some flakes in it, and that's it. So very easy life, huh?
Yeah.
But I also know that people know me because of having all these crazy experiences in life and sharing moments, that I feel like a bit much treated about still continuing doing it. And once you are for the 10th time in Dubai, which is a crazy view right now, you are like, yeah, it's a crazy view right now. It seems like the last time and the other time and the first time. So
you get used to it.
You got used to it.
Yeah,
so getting out this creativity and this feeling of this wow effect becomes more and more difficult to me.
Yeah.
And I think like great creators like Sam Calder, and you can name them, they have the same experience. And I think if you are alone or not really rational, reflecting yourself from a different third person perspective, then you easily can trap into a down in your life. So what I try to do is, when I travel a lot, even if it's hard to find my me time, I do a lot of sport. I try to eat healthy. I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke. I don't take any drugs. So I'm very much concentrated on being me. Otherwise, I think you can't make it work. And I compare myself, my physical body constitution, with people on Instagram are like, what the fuck? It's like 8-pack. It's like 8%, 5% body fat. How do they do that? Because they don't live the life I do. And I think I probably cannot manage it way better than I do right now. And this helps me to regenerate with my mindset, to know, okay, what I do is like on a very high level, which probably can be better in different things. But once I'm still stuck in being this all-rounder personality, I probably not can get like this 3% fat body 8-pack situation, you know?
Yeah.
So that's how I deal with it.
I mean, it's crazy. Like, you run a huge company in Germany. At the same time, you're traveling so many different countries. And I also know like how tiring a long flight is, right? And then changing the time zones and everything, and still being able to do, you know, all the sports you do. I think, what's important to know that in order to be able to do that, there are also a lot of sacrifices, right? You have to be very disciplined, right? You don't have time to drink, because if you drink the next day, you feel bad and you cannot perform. I think that's important for people to know. Like, if you want to live a life like you, where you have like all these things back to back and you have to run a company, you also have to make sure that, you stay sane, right? And your body stays fit.
100%. And like, to give you an example of how much flying that is in total, I just recapped last year, because it was just like 40 or 45 flights, which is less compared to 2023, which were like 70 flights. But I was figuring out how much time is that in total. Like, if I imagine having somebody like a random employee which has like a 40-hour week, it would take me 3.75 months just being on the road, checking in, taking my stuff into the luggage, and then sitting there for 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 14 hours in the plane. Would take me 3.75 months. 3.75 months just to get to other places.
That's crazy.
Which like is like 1/3 of the year. Yeah. I'm not doing anything else than just this, which is crazy. So just to give you like a feeling of how much time is basically ruined.
Yeah, but you cannot. I mean, you travel for work, right? So those are projects where you have to be present. Like, is it possible to send someone else, or is it like really required for you as a CEO to be there at those locations?
Yeah, I mean, like, once you build something up and you probably want a huge pitch, and you know this responsibility for this client is on a very high level, you feel like this can work with my employees because I do trust them, and we have like very skilled people. But you also know, maybe just to make sure, because this destination is kind of hard because of regulations, lots of flights. Like we were in Maldives for about 30 days and we were switching every second day the island, and there's lots of travels back and forth, and domestic flights need to be organized. You have lots of luggage and there's underwater content that needs to be covered. I was like, no, I'm going to join the team because I don't want that I will disappoint my client by not having the output requested, or having somebody after 30 days not being able to cover the shot because temperature, less sleep, whatever. Yeah. So that's why I joined. I probably could have been at home, but it's more or less like my will of like performing on a very high quality level and making sure the team can perform as well. And that's why I try to step away from all these travels. I could even join way more, but I'm like, okay, this can be managed by this team and I trust them, and there I don't need to interfere anymore. And right now for the project in Tokyo, I mean, like I met this guy in the business class when I flew from Bali to Japan. If I would not be there, it would not be the same relation, because that was based on my emotional story. Yeah. This is my private thing. For sure, Crew10 has this reliability, but it's not the same. I'm still like an emotional seller, and they are not just buying the service, they're also buying the personality behind. Yeah. So in that case, I do see the relevance of being part of the project in Japan.
Yeah, I agree. Also in Japan, like, lots of business is so like personal, and the relationship is so important. But I guess not only in Japan, I think it's everywhere, and especially in the agency business, right? The relationship is really what matters. I think that makes a lot of sense, which maybe turns into the next question, because it's so personal, right? And through marketing and digital marketing, you can actually extrapolate it. Instead of being there, people can see you online. Like, how important do you think personal branding is to run an agency in 2025?
I think it's very important, because building up easy systems, even with AI, going to be real quick. But I mean, like you go shopping because you trust a brand because of the story behind, and you can build the cheapest, the best performing online shop. But if there's no story behind, it's like just an empty capsule. So you need to bring this personality brand on the street, which means, like, in the period we are right now, which probably turns out like the craziest AI decade ever, I think people will lose the opportunity to commit with something in reality. So people who have the skill to network and to be able to speak to someone face to face will definitely even perform way better in the next decade, because people will lose this skill. That's what I think. I mean, like, you have lots of opportunities based on AI, but once you think the other way around and like real connections, I mean, like, we couldn't have a better introduction to ourselves while having this podcast, which is a real connection. And it will probably completely different if we would do this digital. I mean, like, I see you. We have the coffee. By the way, didn't have a slick any. But we smell each other. This is like something that you probably will not forget. But the digital thing you will forget anyway. Yeah. And that's the way I think.
Yeah, agree. Yeah, that's also why for us, for example, events is a really important channel. Because we do mainly digital marketing to attract like users and clients, but it's just different. Like, if you are in an event and you talk to someone in person, like, the relationship is so stronger. The chance that you get them to show up in the meeting and then actually convert them as someone to work with is so much higher. So I do agree, like, this in-person connection, especially during COVID, everything went digital and stuff and people missed it. I think it's a huge difference, like being in person. And I agree. Look, I was also quite curious on the German market, because you're an entrepreneur in Germany. I mean, Crew10 is based, like, the HQ is based in Germany, right? How is it to be an entrepreneur in Germany? How is it to operate in Germany? from what I know about Germany, it can be quite bureaucratic, and sometimes, right, all the paperwork and things make it difficult to, especially for small business, sometimes to operate. Or Germany sometimes have that impression. How's your experience, like being an entrepreneur and operating in Germany?
I would say like operating from Germany, running a company in Germany, paying all these taxes in Germany, which doesn't mean paying taxes at all is a problem. But I think the governmental way how you got treated as self-employed is so bad that it really kills your vision in really growing. And they more take from you than they really give to you. And I think, I mean, like it's already happening. Many people go to different countries. They step out of the system to figure out how they can basically pay less tax or have less paperwork and all that stuff. And if you're a very visionary, you have a lot of people, even employees, that will not be willing into working hard right now. And I do see my life as it can be kind of hard, which is okay because I do love this competition and challenge feeling. But Germany is in the position where more and more people are fighting for a 4-week,
4-day work week, yeah.
And probably spend more time working from home instead of going to the office where real connection starts. And I think Germany is absolutely not in the position to act like this because we are so much behind all that we definitely missed the place being on the top frontliners at this race. And Asian countries are definitely developing faster. They are willing to do, and that's what I think makes it very hard as let's call it an entrepreneur to run your company, because it's not just you, it's not just the paperwork, it's not just the government, it's the whole thing, which will be part of the whole society, makes it different.
Yeah.
You understand?
The mindset, right?
So the mindset is different. Yeah. So once you drive the Porsche, your neighbor is like, what the fuck? Stupid asshole.
Yeah.
Instead of asking, how did you make it? Yeah. Let's do something together. I mean, like, I'm the last person who's not helping you.
Yeah.
And I rather discuss about how running the business than instead of complaining about politics or thinking about why is like my neighbor not how painting his wall. Yeah. I don't know. So I would say Germany's already on the race down.
Yeah, I think this mindset thing, it's a bit unfortunate to see, right? Like especially if you compare it to countries like China or even the US, where I have the feeling like you more have that mindset of like people, working really hard to make something happen. And in Europe, it's not the same. Like, and especially you need to be competitive, right? Especially if you run a company. I think also for bootstrap companies, it's extremely hard.
100%.
Right? If you bootstrap, you don't have funds, right? So you need to operate be creative, and like you don't have money, right? So if you already have to pay 20% right from the beginning and stuff like that, it can be very tough. But yeah, I think definitely the motivation part of the people also makes a role, because if you see that in a country, and I think that's in China the case, you have people who, they probably all work on average, 70 hours a week or something. And the mindset is completely different, right? They're like, okay, we want to make this happen. So I can imagine that, it can be tough sometimes. I didn't thought, I was mainly from the bureaucratic angle, that sometimes like deals could take very long and stuff with clients. But what you said is absolutely right as well. That's more political, I guess.
For sure, the compliance is like huge if it gets into bigger projects. But I mean, like that's one thing I would say, like more or less the mindset which is in the society's heads is, to me, the bigger problem, and is also the bigger picture on how we basically should switch something to the good.
Yeah, makes sense. Maybe the last question before we wrap this up. For someone who wants to start a marketing agency today, what would be the one most important thing you would say someone has to think of to start a marketing agency?
A friend of mine, he's also from Dubai, said, so how do you make work that somebody is buying your service? It's based on trust. So everybody who's going to work with you is based on trust. But how do you make trust? By finding things you do in common. So you go out for a bit, you network together, you have maybe the same interest. So if you have the same interest, you build trust. Once you build trust, you get the job. So what I would recommend everybody who would like to run an agency or any business out there, try to give the biggest trust on your service, which turns out to be your personal brand, and then grow from your personal brand and put the same attitude into the brand you build, because then this will swap from your personality to Crew10 or however you would like to name your company.
Yeah. So trust and building relationships, right? I think super important in the agency game. Then to wrap this up, just real quick, like 3 quick answers. So first question, what is your go-to productivity hack?
Productivity hack. I downloaded now an app where I have like these crazy sounds, which is like literally kind of magical, so that I keep my focus by always listening to the same. This helps a bit.
Meditation type.
Yeah, it's meditation type music.
Yeah.
So if you do like focus work, this helps a lot.
That's good. Then what's the name of the app?
So.
Do you remember the name?
I can check it up.
We'll put it in the notes later, otherwise.
Yeah, but let me. It's Endel, Endel.
Okay.
It's kind of weird. So once you heard it the first time, it's like, okay, crazy.
yeah. I will check it out. One book or podcast every founder should check out.
A book or a podcast. To be really honest, I just read one book and it's about like a karate do.
Okay.
Which is the way of karate.
Yeah.
So I've never read any other book instead of listening to Audible for Steve Jobs' biography. But
that's good. Then
hard to say.
Okay. Steve Jobs biography, I guess that one is good. I haven't read that yet. CEO or founder you admire?
I mean, like people like Casey Neistat definitely give me the hook to start with it.
Yeah.
It's not like a really CEO thing, but he's definitely somebody I looked up at it.
Okay.
Sam Kohler, which is also just an influencer or travel guy who made content creation like absolutely to the max.
Yeah.
Also inspired me a lot, and I definitely still have to honor my first CEO where I was running as a project manager for e-commerce. I learned a lot and I copied a lot the way he worked, and this helped me up to boost even my company.
Yeah, awesome. Then last question, if you had to start a new business tomorrow, in which niche would it be?
I would definitely go back into e-commerce because e-commerce is way easier to scale up. It has different challenges. You run out of stock, you have to pre-finance the goods, stuff like that. So you have returns anyway. You will find problems and challenges everywhere, but I would like to do something like this, or I would go into the travel niche and do something where I really be in the now and can explore everything while having like a retreat or a resort or stuff like that.
You should get already deals with all those hotels. Like if you're traveling
I probably do.
And with your following, yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, awesome. No, I think there was so much value in this conversation, Robin. If people want to find out more about you and about Crew10, where can they best find you?
For sure, they just go on our website, which is like crew10.de, or they're going to check out my Instagram profile or LinkedIn if you type in Robin Maeter, which is like ROBIN and then space MAETER. It's like Master, and the Master has the S, but I have the E instead of the S, so it's easy to know. You definitely will find me on LinkedIn, Instagram, even on Facebook.
It's not hard to find you.
Nah, it's probably not hard to find me.
No, awesome. So if you're a brand, right, looking to get high quality, breathtaking videos, definitely check out Crew10. If you are a marketing agency who is looking to join our partnership program, where we help agency to generate leads and work together, sign up for a partnership program. And if you're a brand looking for influencer software, check out Influencer Hero as well. Robin, thank you so much for your time. I think it was an awesome conversation. And
much appreciated.
Yeah, it was also good because it's quite unique that I get to know a person through a podcast, because we haven't even talked before this. So I think it's awesome. And thanks everyone for listening.
Thank you very much. ありがとうございました。 Thanks.
Awesome.